That's right. Let's elevate. Tonight's the night we're going to elevate. It all starts now. We spotted him 3 games. Seahawk gets it.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Power Trip Morning Show. Marns Gallarns is here. Hi, Marney.
Yeah, good morning. Hi.
Oh, it's so good to see your little face. Boney's right there beside you. Say hi, Bones.
Hi, kids.
And we got Maxo showed up. Maxo's got the longest day in the history of broadcasting today.
What?
I got to turn his mic on. He can't do it himself. Maxo, tell us about your schedule today.
Oh, no, it's just been exhausting.
It's good.
It's a great thing. No, it's awesome. It's been a regular occurrence lately. It's just I'm doing this. I'm doing 9 to noon. Doing Twin Cities Live again today. Doing pregame party. We got the watch party down at MOA. We got fan line. It's a whole lot, and I'm very grateful to be a part of all.
Make hay while the sun's shining, because tonight might be the last game.
Right.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it might be, right, Marnes?
Mathematically and logically, that is true, and we do have to prepare ourselves for that.
We have to prepare ourselves for that, Marnes.
Maxo, what has the overall tone been of the callers on your on the fan line? So you're talking about a good 45 minutes after the game, 30 minutes after the game?
Yeah.
So you've had a chance to mull it over a little bit, calm down, but what is the mood of the callers?
It's kind of split. Some people are still like, I'm riding up. You could tell that this team is different because the fact that everyone hasn't fully gone to, well, this is Minnesota sports and we're done, we're cooked, trade cat and everything. That's like half the crowd, but the other half, people still believe. People are still like, this is different and are appreciating the ride. I think everybody's kind of giving their condolences right now because mathematically it's more than likely over, but I otherwise the other half is the angry people that are always angry, trade cat and get rid, tear everything down and everything like that. So
Yeah, I would trade him.
No, and I'm not. I've defended Cat's honor many a time on these airwaves. I will no longer be doing so.
I would trade him.
He's a great player. We would not be in this position without him. It's just I cannot blame people or the front office if they're open to trading him after the way he's played.
Let's put Marney in a bad spot. What do you think?
I think 7:30 tip tonight, game 4. It's been exactly.
Here's the other thing, Max. So to your point, though, if they let's say they want to find their way to a different vet and try it with a different mixture of players. He's the odd man out.
Yeah,
Rudy is untradeable, and for many reasons, and you're not going to trade Ant.
Well, and because he's got Naz Reid right on his heels,
Correct.
That everybody loves, that everybody knows that he can step into that role. So it's just kind of like if there was a major change to be made, that is the one area that you would go to. I'm not saying that I want to trade him, not saying get him out of town or anything like that. I'm just saying like it's definitely a possibility. And, in the past I would have been like, no, but now it's just kind of like, Let me hear what's on the other side,
Did you hear the bet that was made earlier?
No.
Sauce bet both Corey and I $50 that Cat will not be on the Wolves next season. For the opening night next season. Which side do you take on that bet?
I don't know, because
really, you think it's close?
I do think it's close. I do think that they know that they have a good team, and like there's reluctance because there's been plenty of opportunities to trade him in the past, and he has. The first 2 series he was phenomenal. Like we would not be. I cannot emphasize enough that we would not be in the Western Conference Finals without Karl Anthony Towns. We would not have been hovering near the number 1 seed all year without Karl Anthony Towns. But the way that he's playing, and even you can kind of see like Chris Finch is pretty fed up with Karl Anthony Towns. You could tell by the way that he's answering those questions in the press conferences. So if that's what's happening, if there's frustration, above the player level, because it seems like him and Ant are really cool. It seems like the team has really good vibes, and I don't know if they'd want to break that up, but it's hard to give him a pass the way he's played in this Western Conference Finals. And it sucks for him as a person because it feels like he finally got back to zero with Twin City sports fans after the way he's played. And now all of that goodwill is just completely gone and everybody's back to once again heading into, I don't know how many summers it's been in a row now, but the number 1 talker around this team is going to be what do we do with Karl Anthony Towns? And they might just be tired of hearing that. So I would. It just depends on the offer. I would say, what are we getting back for him? I don't want no picks. Like they need a player that's good right now.
Yeah, and they don't win Game 7 against Denver without him.
No, they don't even beat Phoenix without him.
They benched him. They've benched him in this series in the fourth quarter.
Okay,
Coach's decision.
This is KFAN
We'll get
News
more on that in a
with Chris
bit.
Hockey, presented by the St. Paul Saints.
By the St. Paul Saints. Thank you, St. Paul Saints. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to derail your words. But people tune into this station for the news. and I got to make sure I'm delivering, and especially because we are sponsored by our beloved friends at the St. Paul Saints. The St. Paul Saints are on the road, beginning a 7-game series with the Rochester Red Wings. That starts today. We'll give you more information about when they're back to CHS Field ASAP. We'll keep it to date. Thank you, St. Paul Saints. Here's the news, Marney.
Okay, hit me.
Okay.
I thought that was Delta Burke playing blackjack.
Same. Brilliant. That's funny.
You get that.
Yeah.
You're smart, man.
He loved designing women. Huck loved that show.
Behind women?
Yeah, women without any asses.
Oh,
Just,
no.
you
Where'd
like
that
cutting them off and
ass?
dehining them.
They better bring that ass.
Designing.
No one on this show can talk.
The
Myself
MSP
included.
Airport 2020. No, I should say. Let me start again. The MSP Airport.
Case in point.
2040 long-term plan has been approved by the Metropolitan Airports Commission. It's aimed at accommodating growth at the terminals, gates, and parking facilities. MSP spokesman Jeff Lee says no new runways are needed in the next 16 years, but on the list of projects is
expanded Terminal 2, which is very busy to the south, the new gates, and a long-term project to extend Concourse G. There's some need to reconstruct concourses E and F in Terminal 1. That could be a tunnel, that could be a tram, that could be some way to connect passengers between Terminal 1 and Terminal 2 so that you could access all gates without having to go out of security. So that would improve certainly the passenger experience and even for employees that might work in both terminals.
it would be cool to be able to get from Terminal 1 to Terminal 2 on a tram like they do in Vegas, like you do for so many places.
Without leaving security, because
Without
that's the
exactly.
key, right? Because you can take the train, you can take the light rail, but that is they're talking about staying within the confines of the airport. That's a game changer.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't know how often most people would use it, but it definitely would matter, I guess, for some connections.
Well, imagine if you could park at Terminal 2 and actually take off from Terminal 1. You know what I mean?
Right. And when they're talking about expanding parking, though, have you guys ever had a problem parking at either? Because I haven't.
Once? Yeah. I had to park. That's when I knew they had a tram from terminal to terminal. I had to park at Terminal 2 and then tram to Terminal 1.
Yeah, but you drive a semi.
Well, no, it looks like a semi because I'm in the front seat.
How long ago was that, Sauce?
Dap.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Dap.
With the proliferation of Uber and Lyft and like that, I just can't believe parking there is a
Did you have more to say about Mrs. Bowen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, but that's the way to go. It's way cheaper to park at Terminal 2 and then take the light rail to Terminal 1.
I never knew there was a difference in price.
It's way cheaper?
Yeah.
Way cheaper.
How much are we talking? How much cheaper?
I mean, I don't know exactly. It depends on like how many days and everything, but it's a pretty. They got it's called a value lot or something like that over there, and it's right next to the light rail station, and you just hop on the train and you're at the airport.
Do what Hawk does. You buy it like weeks in advance.
Yes.
You can do that.
Yes.
That's great. That is definitely cheaper to do that.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think it's like $7 or $8 off an hour.
Yeah.
Buy it beforehand.
And
daily parking, Terminal 1, $26 a day. Terminal 2, $36 a day.
Way to go, Zach.
Wait, Terminal 2 isn't Terminal 2?
It should be the other way.
Yeah, it should be backwards. I'm just reading this out of the Pioneer Press.
You have a bad source there, Martin.
Oh, yeah.
I'll let them know.
You might want to get that looked at.
Jace Frederick, get on it.
Memorial Day is the unofficial start of summer, as you guys might well know. And an expert says Minnesotans who have been spending any time enjoying the outdoors need to be on guard for ticks. An infectious disease physician says you can cut your chances of catching Lyme disease by taking a few simple precautions anytime you're heading into the woods for a hike.
Looks a little nerdy, but if you put a rubber band at the base of your your pant legs to keep the ticks from crawling up. That's number one. Number two, doing tick checks after you're done. Ticks are out with a vengeance. Some of the immature forms of the tick, the nymphs, are out and the ticks are reproducing right now. Those really forms of the tick can highly transmit Lyme disease, are smaller, more difficult to see. So this is unfortunately a very high risk time for acquiring Lyme disease.
Yep, if you're dealing with nymphs, definitely put a rubber band around the base.
Yeah, right.
That is how you avoid them. My dog Mochi had a tick a couple weeks ago. I said this on the air. God, it was so freaking gross.
Yes.
Because it had definitely been there enough days to start filling with blood. So gross.
Yeah,
so gross.
Terrible. And geez Louise, you got to check yourself all the time now. Just anytime you go out, even if you're just going for a walk around the block, if you walk through the grass, check yourself for ticks.
Add this to my never-ending list of reasons why you should never go outside.
Brad Paisley wrote a song about it.
Yeah.
Am I right, Hawk?
I want to check you for ticks.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he sure did.
I'd like to check you for ticks.
It's better than that.
No.
But
That does not exist.
Sounds great.
On a related note.
Yes,
the mosquitoes. They are out. They're alive. They've hatched.
Yeah.
Have you guys not?
They're back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to
me
do
on my way
something in my garage at noon, and I had to leave the garage. I had to close the garage door at noon.
With the car running?
Oh.
Go to Iceland. No mosquitoes in Iceland.
Yeah, are there any ticks there?
Any nymphs?
Brilliant.
How
Does Mrs.
how were
Bowen go there?
the how were the mosquitoes at the cabin, Sauce, in the woodsy area?
They're all right. It's these other bugs called midges, I think.
Whoa.
right.
They prefer little people, man.
No, I'm serious. Brilliant. That's what they're called, and they're everywhere. They don't
Do they
bite.
fly?
They're just
Do
everywhere.
they crawl?
Yeah.
Midges?
That's what they're called. Yeah.
Well, I got to look this up. I've never heard of those. Little tiny things?
Midges get snitches or stitches. How's that phrase go? How do you spell it?
Are they just women from the?
MIDGE.
It's a bunch
Oh,
of
yeah,
women
it is
from
a
the
midge.
60s.
Oh,
Yeah.
grody.
They don't
Lake
bite,
flies.
which is weird.
Yeah, they're called lake flies, man.
Yeah, they're gross. They're
Midge. I've never heard of these
everywhere
things.
out there. Yeah.
Larvae develop in mud near the bottom of lakes and ponds.
Yep.
Adults emerge in swarms in the spring. They only live 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
Good.
Non-biting species. They may swarm homes near lakes, but pose no health risk. So get over it.
Yeah.
Doesn't say that.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I finish my story from that rest stop in Illinois with that
That
bug?
was literally an hour ago.
I know. But it's sort of relevant
Midges?
I don't even know what story you're
I
referencing.
son of a
I
midge.
must have tuned you out an hour
The
ago.
cicada.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Play it again.
Only for the people not podcasting.
Yeah.
And imagine if you're a midge and you live 3 to 4 days and you spend an hour and a half watching the Garfield movie.
What if you've been waiting on the end of the story for an hour and a half and you only lived for 3 days?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so I get out of my car and I feel something fly into my face, and I swat it away.
Oh,
This
dear
giant bug. I didn't know what it was, but I didn't see it. And I go into the rest area into the bathroom to go to the use the facility, and I'm at the urinal, and I hear something over my left shoulder, and I look over, and it's just this gigantic cicada.
Oh, John.
And these things are the ugliest bugs you've ever seen. So it's on my shirt, and so I'm trying to swat it off. I end up freaking out because I didn't know what a cicada was. I didn't know. I've never seen it before.
There must have been urine everywhere.
Oh, yeah, there was. No, there was.
Oh, no.
And I took my shirt off, and I'm in the... There's like other people in the bathroom, and they're all looking at me like, what's going on? And then I went into the stall, and I put the shirt on the ground, and I'm trying to whip my shirt to get this damn thing to get off my damn shirt. It wouldn't. I'm in there for 5 minutes trying to... So finally, just like laid it on the floor, and it finally crawled off. But
you laid your shirt on the bathroom floor.
yes,
What do you make the worst choices?
What are you doing?
I needed to get. This is a gigantic bug, man. They're huge. It's like the
Cicadas
size of
are
a
huge,
baseball.
Cicadas are very big, and they only come, what 7, 8 years, something like that. I don't know. And
I've
man,
never seen it
it's
before.
the loudest thing you've ever heard.
It is.
And they are big, and they crunch when you step on them. They
Yeah.
die. But still, can you imagine the people in that bathroom, the story they're telling this morning?
They're telling everybody about that weirdo who pissed all over the place.
Oh, there were other people there?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then more people kept coming in, and I'm in the stall, like losing my mind, yelling at it, "Get off! Get off!"
Oh my God!
They thought you were in a glory hole.
You were yelling what at the stall?
Oh, man.
Yeah, they thought you were part of a glory hole.
So potentially a family of 9 heard a grown man yelling, get off from a closed bathroom stall, and his shirt was on the floor.
I didn't think about that part too.
Yeah.
Oh no!
And he kept screaming things. I've never seen one this big. I've never seen one this big.
It's in my shirt.
I kept saying, "What is this? What is this?" And so I didn't care at that point.
It's on my face.
I don't want your life.
Related question, but are they not? Is it not pronounced cicada?
No.
I thought it was cicada.
It could be cicada or cicada, either one, but it's not chi.
Only one was cicada because of the obvious.
Maybe it's regional, but when I hear news reports, I'm like, about the summer of cicada. I mean, we can spend the next segment breaking this down.
There's a lot of cicadas out there.
Oh my God! Yeah, one of them joins in 10 minutes.
And 1 minute.
Yes, there we go.
The Power Trip Morning Show returns. We'll do sports after this. We'll let Marney Gellner talk about if her squad is donezo. Game 4 tonight, Mavs and Wolves. You're home with the Timberwolves. The Fan returns after this.
I just learned something about Marney I didn't know. It's Power Trip Morning Show 727.
Is it shareable?
Yeah, sure. Do you
Go
believe?
on.
First of all, Marney, I made that up. I've never met anybody named Red Savoy. I don't know if that's a real person. I made that whole thing up. My apologies. Yeah. I would.
It is a real person.
I'm sure it probably is.
That's how the pizza chain started.
Yeah. Marney does.
Why would you even make that up?
Because it seemed like something that you'd fall for, and you did. It was great. I told Marney I met Red Savoy in downtown Osseo. I'm sorry.
Why would you even bother with that story?
Because I wanted to see what would happen, and it worked out perfectly.
Marnes never truly trust another human being.
I trust all human beings. That's my problem.
But we did have an interesting conversation about buffets. Mm-hmm. Are you guys, in fact, the type of person who, when you go to a buffet, will get a little bit of everything and test it out, and then go back a little later and get all the things you like the most, like Marney, or you like me, and you just load up on one thing till you can't breathe?
I'm more like you, for sure. There's no testing, right? Because mentally you just say, I don't really care if I waste this food because I'm paying for it anyway, right? So if you get 73 of something and after 2 of them you're like, this isn't very good, who cares?
Well,
right?
I mean,
you're paying for that privilege.
Yeah.
Other people can worry about food waste. If you're at a buffet, by definition, you're wasting food. You know what I mean? If you're worried about, the homeless need food and we should spread it around, well, then you're at the wrong place anyway.
It doesn't feel great to do it that way.
I love a buffet.
Breakfast buffets.
Me and Red.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Where in Osseo did you meet him?
At the Red Savoy's Pizza in Osseo.
Yeah, he was doing a quality control check.
Oh,
yeah. I'm sorry. I thought it was funny, and I liked it.
That's how we got on the topic, because I said Red Savoy at some locations has a lunch buffet.
Great lunch buffet up in Hugo.
Okay, so Eden Prairie has one too. And that's what I was saying is, like, God, if you can get really hungry for lunch and then do a lunch buffet, like a pizza lunch buffet, and where they have pasta, and like that's how we got on
garlic toast.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So
that was in Osseo? You're saying the
I don't know. He
buffets
made
in
the
Hugo.
story up.
There is a Red Savoy in Osseo.
Okay, that's just north of Maple Grove. I was getting lunch the other day in Arbor Lakes with P.F. Chang. He's one of my buddies, and we were talking about local buffets, and he didn't mention it.
Okay, well, I just didn't understand why you would have to make that up, because there was a guy, they called him Red. He started the first one.
Sure.
it's believable, but also, what did you gain from telling me that story that you made up and then watched me believe it and leave the room and then go,
as we sit here right now.
I wasn't telling the truth. Okay.
As we sit here right now, about 5 minutes of airtime.
Yeah.
Totally worth
Other
it.
than losing my trust.
Yeah. Well, I don't care about that.
Oh, no, not that.
Some people are, I don't know if above is the right word, but don't care for buffets.
Oh, yeah.
Like my sister-in-law, whom I love dearly, she just
Sounds
is
like
kind of grossed out, even though she's pretty low level like me. She's not hoity-toity, but she just does not like buffets like that. You scoop something out and then there's food on both sides of the container, and
it's the community sharing factor.
Sure, yeah,
Whose hands have
absolutely.
been in there? Has everybody used the tongs correctly?
Of course they have not.
I'm the wrong person for buffets because I never get my money's worth. Right? I don't eat enough of the expensive stuff to ever make it worth the money. So unless like breakfast buffets, I'm trying to eat $40 worth of bacon.
Damn right.
I'm not going to get there.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
All right.
You know who had the best breakfast/brunch buffet is Famous Dave's in Fargo.
What?
Had a breakfast buffet.
No kidding.
That's how I'm
I'm
used to
not
as
kidding
well.
you.
Yeah.
That
For
sounds amazing.
years,
Sounds
the Gellner
really good.
clan would hit up church on Sunday morning and then Famous Dave's breakfast buffet. And they would have scrambled eggs, hash browns, but then they would have their, the muffins,
I know the
Famous
muffins.
Dave's cornbread
Cornbread.
muffins,
Yeah.
and caramel rolls. Like this homemade trays of caramel rolls. And then they'd have pulled pork and a couple of things. So it was like a brunch buffet. Fargo, bring it back.
Sweetheart, save some room for later.
We're going to be in Fargo Thursday and Friday. Why don't you relive your glory days and go back there on Friday morning?
I might be riding with Hawk.
Oh, you guys might
Is that going to
carpool.
happen?
Well, yeah, my mom's going to pick me up.
Even after that lie?
Well, that's a good point. I have to reconsider.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Get
trust
back to me later. What if you just told
Are you
me
go-
you're
are you
going
go-
to Fargo and you really made that story
Are
up
you going
too?
on his motorcycle?
No.
Oh.
You know what's fascinating? All of us are driving up Thursday and driving back Friday. And the fact that you're even willing to carpool says a lot about you, because the rest of us would rather spend the 3.5 hours each way by ourselves,
Yeah, I'm
spend
really
our
regretting
own
making the
gas
offer
money,
right now.
put the miles on the car, listen to our own podcasts or our own music. None of the rest of us have even remotely floated the idea of carpooling.
Is that true?
100%.
None of you are
No,
riding
I'm driving
Never
solo.
do. Yeah.
Solo for sure.
Sauce?
See you there.
I would ride with somebody. I'm fine with that, but I haven't offered it or been offered, so I'll drive alone and be fine with it. Yeah, we used
How much
to.
room
but
you got, Hawk?
I got the van, man. I got room for 6.
Why don't you ride up with them, Sauce?
Come on.
When are we leaving?
Thursday.
I play Password
Well-
on Thursday,
well,
so I'm not
How far is the drive?
free until 2:30. 3.5 hours.
How many stops are we gonna have to make it? To make it, should we leave now? Zach would leave now.
I'm serious. I would love you to ride with us if you'd like to. Come on. Let's go together.
All right, I'll ride with
everyone
you.
you.
I'll ride with
You
you.
too, Corey.
Yeah, I'll ride with.
Bring Red Savoy with you.
The guy or a box of pizza?
Both.
Boy,
Yeah, I'll ride with Zach or Hawk.
Bring Famous Dave.
Are we gonna meet here?
Yeah,
Benny
we can.
Hanna.
Yeah, all right, I'll ride with you.
Let's
Echo
go.
just slinging them.
Yeah.
Well, you are
Zach
plugged
needs,
in,
Zach
Zach.
needs to spend the night at Pelican Rapids, though, first.
Yeah,
Can't make it all in one trip.
Yep. Then he's gonna stop in Perham.
Yeah, those, are
Brand.
good, those are good spots.
That's a good
Let's
spot.
go to Brandon.
Is he here?
No. It's another town on the way.
Anyway, that was also a nice transition because, Marney, your playoff coverage of the Wolves is brought to you by Red Savoy.
Wonderful. Which has excellent, wonderful pizza and a great lunch buffet if you can find them.
That's right.
Hawk?
That's correct. I love
And
them.
the Sir Charles Pizza. Sausage, pepperoni, mushroom, onion. And the Bring Your Ass Special, which is a Sir Charles Pizza, an app, and a hop for $25.
That's pretty good. Johnny Bones,
Yes, sir.
you're the best of all time. You're going to be gone for 2 weeks because you're going to jolly old London town.
Yeah. I'll
Hey.
see you guys At middle of June sometime. Yeah.
My
Love you.
goodness, Look at you.
You will
Y'all
be
be
missed.
careful out there.
Love you, Bonus.
Give Andy,
Love being John
Yes.
Bonus. Twinsdaily.com, Gleeman and the Geek podcast.
Give Andy
What are
the
the
old high hard
other
one
What are the
for
other
me.
websites? Go through them.
Zone coverage, Hockey Wilderness, Brewer Fanatic, Northside Baseball, Fish on First.
Nobody cares.
Wait, Fish on First? Have we talked about that?
That's
Did
a
I-
Marlins baseball site we started.
Fish on First.
I thought
of
that was a
Marlin fans
collab
up
with
here?
the Cap.
Usually have to wait till
You know that?
we usually have to wait till third to get to the fish, but
What the hell are you talking about?
Go sleep.
Yeah, go sleep.
Accidentally say more slurs, why don't you?
Wait, what?
More with Mark, Rosen, and Marney Gellner after this Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
All right. Welcome back. Patrick Morning Show.
Rosie's here. Marney is already here. Hi, Marney. Marney, Mark,
Good morning.
Hi, Betty.
Hi, Roser.
Hi.
We got Zacho, who's in Kansas City, Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
We got Maxo, who's ready for the longest day in the history of broadcast journalism. And a cast of thousands. Here we are. Here we go. And we got a basketball game right here on this radio station tonight. Here's J-Mac on him versus Luka.
I mean, we just out there competing, like, just fun to go against him, like, and we just challenging each other. Like, I mean, he tries to put me in tough situations, and it's the same as I do to him. So, I mean, it's all competition at the end. Like, there's no problems or nothing between us. It's just friendly comp.
You guys don't like when I call him J-Mac. It makes
No,
sense to
because
me.
Jordan McLaughlin is the original J-Mac and still is, and that was Jaden McDaniels who.
Oh, that threw me
you
for a
can
loop.
Kinda,
Yeah.
I mean, technically, sure, he's also a
Right,
J-Mac,
He's
but
the only J-Mac that I care about.
oh, okay.
There you go.
Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you
he's-
said it, then yeah, you're right. Because why would you say anything
Yeah,
other
I
than
was
the
talking to
truth?
myself, so,
Right.
Yeah.
People forget how young he is, too.
Who, J-Mac?
Yeah, Jordan. Yes. Jane McDaniels, yes.
Yeah, he's very
Got me
young.
confused. Hey, look, what, 23, 24, isn't he? Right, Marnie?
Yeah,
Okay.
fourth season, just like Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. It's the baby still.
Sauce thinks they're trading Cat this offseason.
I don't want to get too far ahead of that conversation. My feelings tonight is you start Nas Reed and start Karl Anthony Towns on the bench.
Whoa,
man,
I think
that's
Okay,
no,
what?
it's not extreme.
Then you have to trade him.
Yeah.
Well,
Because-
no, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I mean, that's like saying
He's a max player. If he's a max player in his 20s, not what is Clay in his early 30s? Maybe is Clay in his early 30s?
Clay
Thompson, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're coming off the bench as a max player, that means your time's over.
Clay's 34, yeah.
Well, it depends on what you think gives you your best chance to win tonight's game, and that's all you have to say. He's mentally screwed up right now.
True.
I mean, going back to the Denver series, you saw it, 4 for 32 on his past 5 games. Now that goes back to Denver on 3-point shots. So if you think that he can snap out of it by putting him back out there and just continuing to volume shoot, then go for it. I'm not trying to judge his whole aura and what Karl Anthony Towns do. I just think Nas Reed does a better job of getting to the basket. His first step, his second step, he does what they have to do, and that's try to draw more fouls because they're not getting to the foul line. Karl does not, for whatever reasons, get the foul calls that other players do. Part of it because he's flailing a lot, but at the same time, when you're in this kind of a slump like a baseball player, sometimes you just got to go, you know what? Maybe we'll bring you off the bench. And I understand that, and it might mess him up even more. My feeling is Nas Reed gives you the best chance to win tonight's game, which is all that matters if he started. And then maybe Cat can watch a little bit, come off the bench, and then maybe get into a groove. I don't know. It probably won't happen that way. I think Karl Anthony Towns probably 99% will start tonight's game, and he'll try to shoot his way out of this slump. But this isn't a small sample size anymore. This is over 5 games going back to Denver, and it's killed him. It absolutely has killed him, unfortunately. And whether the discussion turns into what's going to happen in the offseason, who knows? I mean, I agree with Max. You got to get some real value for Karl Anthony Towns because he is a big reason they are where they are today. Having said that, not just the regular season, the postseason, but man, right now, I mean, I've seen a lot of baseball players get in the postseason and just struggle mightily, and they just can't get themselves, and they never do. They never, ever get out of that slump until following year. So, I don't know. That's something that Finch has to figure out and talk to Carl about it, but I think mentally he's just not right now.
Marnes, what was the vibe? Because I didn't hear the post game after game 2 when Cat sat the final 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Did he handle that well? What were the questions that were asked of Carl? Like, why were you told you weren't getting back in the game? Did you know why you were not going back in? I didn't hear what he said.
I was standing right next to him. I was in the locker room after the game, and I can tell you he handled it very well. And he said, basically, Naz deserved to play. Naz was rolling. Naz was giving us the production. I had no problem sitting. That was the right call. He handled it completely professionally. Chris Finch was asked if he had a conversation with Carl, and Finch said there's no time. We're in the middle of a game, so obviously I haven't said anything to him. I assume they had a conversation after the game. But I think that's an important thing to point out about Karl Anthony Towns, because he can be polarizing and he can be frustrating, and you can have opinions on him coming off the bench or starting or being in a rough spot or whatever. He has been nothing but professional in handling all of this. And I do believe there is value in that. He doesn't cause issues off the court. We're not reading about him in the papers all the time. And when this team has had struggles, he shows up every time. He does not dodge the media. He answers the questions. He stands up for the team. So I just don't want it to be a let's all pile on, because he's clearly struggling. It's kind of hard to watch. I feel for him, and I can't take my personal feelings out of it. I realize that. But I do think that there's value in just being a stand-up human being. Does that mean he's going to score points on the basketball court? No, I get that. But I just don't want it to be a full pile-on session of let's rip him, and here's what's wrong. And I do want to point out, and that's a great question to ask Corey, about how he reacted, because he reacted to being sat on the bench for the last, 8.5, 9 minutes of that game against Dallas, game 2. He was completely professional about it and agreed with the decision.
Yet Shaq criticized him for his answers, for the way he answered, which was...
I thought he criticized him for not going to the podium.
Well, at first they did,
bizarre.
but then he
said... That was a game in Dallas, 3 or 4.
But he was critical of him because of the way he kind of like smiled through the answers, that he didn't take more almost responsibility or whatever.
And when he said, I'd take 1,500 shots a day, that's what Carl's answer was.
But no one
right,
took
he
that
didn't
literally.
mean it. He didn't mean it
they
literally.
Did. I think, God, if I see Draymond Green on there one more time, I'm going to punch him in the screen.
Criticize. You can find so many things to keep criticizing him for, and some are totally legit, and others are just way over the top. And let's back off a little bit. And does he need to play better? Yes. Does he need to hit shots? Yes. And guess what? He knows it, and Chris Finch knows it.
That's the problem. It's really, to me, all about tonight's game as far as any of that goes. And he's going to play tonight. He'll play extensively, but is he better served watching for a few minutes, taking a deep breath, as opposed to coming out there? Ant gives him the ball. He's got his first, when he misses if he misses his first 3-point shot, and how that's going to play, because shooters keep shooting, and that's what he does. I just think Naz does a better job of that acceleration, staying in control, getting to the basket, doing the things that they have to do to try to get Dallas off its game. And Kyle Anderson is doing a great job of getting inside that little inside move that he has, that Slow-Mo has, and has been scoring effectively. Play him more. I mean, I just think there has to be more flexibility, because this is a very winnable game. We've seen all these games, and that's the frustrating part about it. Unlike the Denver series, even when they got blown out a bunch of times, these have all been winnable games. And for one reason or another, in particular, Cat shooting, other Anthony Edwards turnover, whatever you want to look at, they've misfired, and yet they're only, 1.5 underdogs tonight. And it's just about tonight. It's not about trying to come back and win 4 in a row, which has, of course, never been done. But get yourself a win.
I feel like the two biggest themes of this series, to your point, Rosie, we've been right there. They're close games. it's been Dallas's ability to close
Clutch.
and Dallas scoring in the clutch.
100%.
And the other theme is the two stars for Dallas playing absolutely
Lights out.
killer basketball.
Hand in the face, right, Max?
And the two
Jay
go hand in hand.
McDaniel, Naz Reid, both great defense on Kyrie and Luka, and not a damn thing you can do about it. Just watch the ball go through the hoop.
Should we have need people in the balls earlier in the series?
Well, that's and they are missing.
It's been our most effective
move.
And Lively's missing tonight's game because Cat inadvertently kneed him in the back of the head. So he's out tonight, and that's a big help. You're right, Max, 100%. All the more reason why I think you need to have Naz Reid go in as a starter tonight.
Why? He's need no one anywhere.
Yeah, good point.
But he can.
Sauce wants
get
Cat
to the
traded.
basket.
Cat's done the best thing so far, which has knocked Lively out of the game. But honestly, now you just have Gafford in terms of the guys that are just dunking every lob that's thrown up there. That it could be the game changer. But again, the Wolves have shown no ability so far to stop that. It doesn't matter if Rudy's on the floor or not.
Right.
They can't stop the lob. And that's where I'm just super disappointed in Rudy is I will defend him saying it's hard to guard Luka on the perimeter, even if you're the defensive player of the year. How can you have the defensive player of the year be a 7-footer and it's lob city all over again?
Yes, correct.
That just doesn't make sense. He should be able to stop stuff in the paint and scare him from coming in there.
Yeah, he's been coming up a little bit too much, too, to try to guard Luka when he comes inside. So that he's been moving up. It's kind of you're caught in no man's land. It's like a tennis player. And that's why those guys have been left alone, where he can't just back up, and by the time it's already in the basket. So,
and I don't know what you do with Kyrie because Ant got tired trying to guard him.
Man.
Conley clearly can't stay with him either.
No,
we don't have an answer.
Very few teams do.
But we definitely don't, and that's a problem.
No.
This is just a giant matchup issue for the Wolves.
Not good.
It sucks.
And I think
It's frustrating.
Dallas has gotten better even in the playoffs. This obviously is not the same team we saw in the regular season because their personnel was different. And then they started to kind of click and go on a run in like March and April. They finished the season pretty well. But I would bet even if you asked them, they would say they're better now than when they played they have the Clippers first and then OKC.
Yeah,
they're probably better now than they were in the OKC series and better in the OKC series than they were in the Clippers series.
They trailed, Marney, they trailed OKC by 16 or 17 points at the half in Game 6. Came back and won, and that's when Doncic was barely able to get up and down the court. He was really limping. His knee was really bugging him. And they came all the way back, doing exactly what they've been doing against Minnesota, and found a way to win that game and avoid a Game 7 and give them a lot of rest going into the Minnesota series. Credit them for doing it all that way. But, yeah, they've been playing just exceptional basketball. And look at the Celtics last night. They were losing. They know it's go time, the last minute and a half. They were trailing most of that game at Indiana. They wanted to close it out last night, and they find a way. And that's what Dallas has done in time and time again, including that killer three-pointer here by Luka last week. So anyway, one game tonight.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my point is Dallas is playing championship basketball.
They are.
Yeah.
This just might be a championship team.
Correct.
You need to win
We're
4
not
straight
right
against
now.
this team. You need Luka or Kyrie to get hurt tonight. Not cheering
Wow.
for it. I'm just saying that's what needs to happen. That's about the only way this team can come back and win 4 straight. Significant injury in Game 4.
Anything is possible, man.
Anything's possible.
Who said that, Hawk?
Jermaine Dupree?
Jermaine Dupree.
If you're not looking at Jermaine Dupree's name in Next Gen right now, I have no idea how you pulled that name.
Find that.
Are you currently reading his name?
I just went through it a couple of moments ago, yeah.
Otherwise, that was out of left field.
There was a tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Wasn't it Billy Joe Dupree?
Something like that, yeah.
No idea. Sounds like a serial killer.
The player in the WNBA, Candace Dupree.
That's who you were thinking of.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's who Hawk thought.
That's right.
No doubt.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks to all our friends at All Around for bringing us Fan 5 a few moments ago, and Radco for bringing you Vikings news. By the way, I did see this morning that Aaron Jones has been ranked the best running back in the NFC North. What do you think of that, guys?
Wow.
Look at that.
Jameer Gibbs.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I take
Josh
Gibbs.
Jacobs.
Well, take who you want. I'm
Yeah,
just telling you
Gibbs
what I
is
read.
awfully good for Detroit.
It would
That
be
was a great
great.
pickup.
I mean, we needed a running back last year. No offense, but guys. I mean, Minnesota Vikings, by the way, begin their second week of OTAs from TCO Performance Center today. Minnesota has 3 practice sessions this week. The Purple will also be on the field tomorrow and Friday before starting mandatory minicamp next week. And that's when your boy's going to be heading down there for some football time. I'm ready for football.
Yeah.
season,
JJ
man.
said he'll be
Let's
there
go.
next week. So.
That's the word on the street, man.
Yeah,
He must be feeling good about things. I'm glad to hear that. I get asked that
a million
way
times.
more than I would expect because I'm not the kind of guy who reports in this town.
Come on, Sauce.
But
Don't you ever report?
I do
No
believe
one does.
that we'll get him signed here before camp. Don't you guys?
I think right around camp time. Yep.
Okay, good. Do we have inside information on that, or
No.
we guessing?
We're guessing.
All right.
I'm guessing.
The NFL is looking into possible games in Dublin and Paris.
Okay, what?
They've also previously looked into games possibly in Spain. They're also looking into Australia. We talked about that last week, right? The Rams have the international rights to Australia. And they also are looking into games in the Middle East, potentially Abu Dhabi. So the worldwide expansion of the NFL continues. This year, they still, of course, have games in London. They're adding the game in Brazil.
Hello.
And they have games in Munich,
Randy.
Germany. So London, Germany, and Brazil this year. But, man, Dublin, Paris,
they do.
Spain, Australia, Abu Dhabi. Lots of possibilities moving forward.
Lots of marketing ideas.
And Johnny Bones is already buying his tickets to all those games.
Yes, he is.
He
He's
is
getting ready to
going
leave.
to Brazil,
He's
most
doing
likely.
it
Is he really?
right.
Yeah, he is.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
To watch the Eagles
Roser,
with his
he's
wife.
going to London like tomorrow or
I
something like
just heard
that.
you guys talking about
To
that.
watch the Phillies.
He just got back from Japan. Before
Right.
that, he was on the
Oh,
moon.
he's living the life.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Wow.
And the craziest thing about it is most of this money's from a podcast, which I was told
Right.
is impossible.
Yeah, I didn't think they made money.
Who told you that?
Who told us what? That they don't make
The
money on podcasts?
money's impossible with the podcast.
iHeartRadio?
Yeah.
Oh.
Here we go.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, call
It
bonus
is Tuesday.
back. It is Tuesday.
Oh my God, the devil! You guys can hear that too?
Yes.
Tuesday.
Clarice.
Thanks, Malachi.
You are here too.
Fan 5 is next. 8 o'clock hour of the Power Trip Morning Show will still feature Marney Gellner. You're at TI tonight for a watch
I
party.
am, yes.
And then you're going to be in
Parlay
Fargo with us
Lounge.
on Friday.
And I'll be in Fargo on Friday. For sure.
Carpooling with Chris.
Yeah,
you're going to
we're
carpool.
That's going to be the name of our new show,
I'm
Carpooling
going
with
too.
Chris. Yeah, Sauce, you
I'll
guys
go
sit
with.
way back in the
That's gonna
back,
be
though.
fun.
Yeah, that's fine.
Everybody bring snacks.
Hey, whoa.
Hey,
Hey, Maxo, you got a party tonight too, don't you?
I do indeed. At the Mall of America. We'll be at the Rotunda. Me and Parker Fox.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. I mean, obviously the Wolves being down 3-0 puts a little bit of a big old wet blanket on it, but it's still going to be a party, baby. You know, we're still going to have fun. There'll be lots of free stuff. I'll make it rain if the Wolves win. Call some of my old friends from the VU, turn it into a strip club. You know how it
His
goes.
party wins.
You might want to check with the MOA.
Oh, they're cool,
that.
dude. They're totally cool.
Okay,
dude.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
they're cool.
Well, I have slot machines.
Whoa! Winner chicken dinner.
Whoa!
Just go to that family restaurant, Hooters. It's always
That's what
you're
he said.
always welcome there.
That's right. You're always welcome there.
Family restaurant, no doubt.
Damn right.
More of the Power Trip after this on the Fan.
La